Hello guys, welcome to Mother Code Academy. As earlier stated, we are going to see nested for loop in this video. So let's start with hash include string using namespace std int main. Okay. So in this video now, the first thing to do is we're just going to write a little program. Let's say multiplication of two-digit number or numbers. So firstly, let's just say for I equal to 1. We're going to start our multiplication from 1. That is why I define this to be 1. Then I come here, I say I less than or equal to 100, or let's say 1000, I plus plus. So normally this is the first for loop, the outer for loop. Then for the inner for loop, we now come and say for again, and this time around we already use I here as a variable, and from this curly braces line 7 here to this one in line 14, they are the what? They are the scope. So the scope is from here to here. So variable I cannot work inside the scope again. So I have to create another variable with a different name. So it should be int. Okay, what I actually mean by the word scope, I just see that I need to explain this. Normally in programming, let me first delete this for again, please. Just give me some minutes to explain this to you guys. Normally if you set int k equal to 15 in programming, see out k, what do you think will happen? The output is 15. Yeah, this is what we want to see. So k is holding 15, k is 15. If you come here again, if you say int k again equal to 20, do you think this program will run? The answer is no. This program can't run. You can try it, because I already declare k as an integer, so I cannot declare it again. By the way, I can set k equal to 20. Saying k equal to 20 is actually fine, but I can't say int k again. I can't put the word int again. Okay, so but you can now come here and just create a scope. We call this a scope. This is a scope. So in this scope now, you can now say out. Okay, let me just come here and say int k equal to 35. Okay, let's say out k equal to, or let's say k from the scope equal to, so I put k. So it's fine here. If you create a scope, it's like you create another country in this my IDE. So therefore this one now has nothing to do with this one. So in this scope now I can create k again, and k can work here and exist here. So but I can't make k to work outside the scope. So now let's run this program and see what's going to happen. So now the first value of k is 15. I later remove 15 and put 20. So k is going to show us 20 here. We are expecting to see 20 here, and we are expecting to see what? To see 35 here. So let's run that. So can you see? K is 20 and k from the scope is 35. So you can create two variables, but you have two variables with the same name, maybe the same data type or different data type, because you can make this variable actually to be like string k equal to, then we change the value here to be string. Let's see now, that's 0. So it's still fine. So can you see k equal to that's 0? So this one is actually fine now. So going back to my program, let me just copy this stuff here. Okay, so let me just check out all this. Out. Okay. Okay, now let's see. For for loop, we have for int I equal to 1. We are going to start our multiplication from 1. So I less than or equal to 1000. Our multiplication should stop at 1000 and I plus plus. So this variable I just work in this my scope. So I have to create, this is the outer for loop. So the inner for loop should be for int j, let's say j. You can create any name. If you like, you can give it a nice name, job, but let's stick to j. J equal to 1 again. J less than or equal to 1000. Then j plus plus. Then we can open the body of this for loop. Okay. So what we want the computer to do is see out I, then we do something like this, multiplied by j. Yeah, we can end line so we can be seeing them in a new line. I multiply by j, then we can have something like this, equal to I times j. Okay, let me explain what this is going to do. Firstly, the nature of how the nested for loop work is that, let me put nested for loop here. The nature of the nested for loop is that if I say int I equal to 1, I less than or equal to 1000, I plus plus. So at the beginning I is 1. Computer will now enter into this loop now. That is the main, the outer for loop. In the outer for loop, as computer is coming down, it will now come across this for loop here. Int j equal to 1, j less than 1000. So j is 1, j is less than 1000. Yeah, 1 is less than 1000. So computer will now execute what is happening here. What is happening here is that computer will take I. The value of I is 1, so take I 1. So now come and put this multiplication symbol I put as a text. It will now put j. J is still 1, so it will put 1 times 1 equal to I times I, that is 1 times 1. So at the first line, we're expecting to see 1. So in the second time, the computer will now hit this back of the for loop. This one now, it will now enter this for loop from the back. Mind you that a for loop will keep on executing until the condition is no more true. Until the condition is no more true. So the reason why this for loop, this outer for loop will not be executing is because once the for loop start reading, I is 1 less than 1000, I is less than 1000, less than or equal to 1000, it will enter the big for loop. So after the for loop, we enter the big for loop now. We now meet a small for loop. So in this for loop, we have j equal to 1, j less than or equal to 1000, j plus plus. So and inside the body of this inner for loop, we have to come back and check again. Okay, j I times j equal to I times j. That is this I as a number multiplied by j as a number is equal to the result of multiplying the two. It will now come here and touch this curly braces here. It will now enter the for loop from the back, this for loop from the back. So j plus plus, it will now increment j. So j will now be what? J will now be 2. So computer will now check. Will now check, is j less than or equal to 1000? 2 is less than or equal to 1000. So computer will now put I. Don't forget your I is still 1. So I, computer is taking 1 multiplied by my j. My j is now 2. So firstly, we have 1 times 1. At second iteration, we have 1 times 2. We will have 1 times 3, 1 times 4, 1 times 5, 1 times 6, 1 times 7, 1 times 8, up till 1 times 1000. So this is no more true. The computer will now go out of the for loop and it will now come and touch this place. That is the wall of what? Of the outer for loop. It will now enter. I equal to I plus plus. It will now increment I by 1. So I is now 2. So I is now 2. So is 2 less than or equal to 1000? 2 is not less than, 2 is less than or equal to 1000. So this is 2. It will not enter the loop for int j, it will now start the same process again. But in this case, we have 2 times 1, 2 times 2, 2 times 3, 2 times 4. The one at the left, at the right hand side is for the j. The one at the left hand side is for the I. This is how the loops work. So nested for loop is very simple and at times is complicated, but I promise you guys that I have another video explaining how nested for loops work. So let's run and see it. Let's say nested for loop. So can you see what is happening? We are still going with I times 800, so now is 2. This 2 now is for our I, and this 3 is for our I, the other one is for our j. Until j must run finish before it will increment I, because the inner for loop must finish until the outer for loop increment by 1 and still come down to reach the inner for loop. So this is what you're going to have. If you have a lot of work to do, you can keep the computer aside, go and take a tea, come back and see how the computer is counting. This computer is going to count from 1 to 1000 until the computer reach 1000 times 1000 before it can stop. So this is a big work. We don't have time to see this one. Try it in your computer and you're going to see how it's going to happen. If you enjoyed this video, please give this video a thumbs up, share this video to your friends, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.